Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Kuntres maamer Yud Gimel, Perak Aleph. Finishing off Perak Aleph today. This whole series is in honor of all the Eretz Yisroel and the war that's going on. Unfortunately, is going on for too long. And this is for also all the hostages and all the soldiers, for Yosef Yitzchak and Simcha, and for and also for Eden, Ben, and Tamar. The Mitzvah Hashem should be good and safe and strong and come back healthy. We're also going to get some tzedakah because Gedel tzedakah shmakaros ha'geula. Mitzvah Hashem with the Zchus of tzedakah giving and our learning of Chassidus should bring Mashiach. We'll have the ultimate geula. So we were discussing yesterday, including this whole discussion about how basically we justify all our issues and all our mistakes because of this self-love. And we also blame everyone else for all our issues. And basically we got to take ownership of our situation and no one else to blame. Even if someone does something to us, we have the choice of how to react. And so we just got to recognize where we, and also we said in the other hand, when it comes to something positive, so we take all the credit. When it comes to something negative, we give everyone else all the credit. So we're talking about how to change that mindset. And now we're going to talk about how Hashem sees it, and also the challenges that we have. And we're going to talk more about that in the next few days. The Bemes, in truth, Hine, Kol Iker, his Natzlusei, Eine Ella Sheta, Shemate Atzmi, Mipnei Avas Atzmi, and really all this is because of the self-love the person has to themselves. Rak Zuhi Asiba Ma Shematzik Atzmi, and that's the only reason why we justify ourselves. Not because it's true justification, but because we justify it. Meaning because he just essentially saying that excuses are excuses. At the end of the day, they could be good reasons, but it's irrelevant. You know, it's like meaning like when a worker comes to work late, so he comes with an excuse. A boss comes to work late, there's no excuses. He doesn't because he owns this. He needs to get it going. So the excuses don't really matter to him. He needs to get the job done. Whereas a worker comes with excuses and justifies themselves, and therefore I should be fine and keep on getting paid. Whereas the boss doesn't look at it that way. And this is sort of what we're saying. Like excuses can be all valid in the technical sense of an excuse, but it doesn't change the reality. And that's what we're saying. That's why we're going to be honest with ourselves. Dehine hatayno dehagvaras chaim hativi ein hatayno be'emes. So the excuse that we give ourselves that we're passionate by nature, we have like these natural inclinations, hot-blooded, I get excited easy. So that's not a good excuse. Sharei hachaim hativi hu ma'nefesh hativis habahamis, because that natural fire, that passionate self that causes these things to happen, it's coming from the nefesh habahamis. She's Gabriel and Nefesh Hativis. And in order to help overcome this challenge, Hashem gave us a Nefesh Elikis to overcome the Nefesh Hativis, the natural soul. And that's the whole purpose of the Nefesh Elikis. To overcome and subjugate the Nefesh Hativis. Meaning the whole purpose of Nefesh Elikis is to come in, take charge, and organize things and put things in order and make sure everything's working well. We're sort of like, it's like a business is not running well, and you hire someone to come fix it up, and that's the job of the Nefesh Elikis. The lule aveda hazois ba'achnas and Nefesh Hativis lo haya nivra klal, And if it wasn't for this avodah, the nefesh lekis, to refine him and to fix the nefesh of hamis, the nefesh ativus, it wouldn't be created. It wouldn't be brought out from its source into this world. Because we already have angels that serve Hashem perfectly. We love and fear. And they're constantly nullified to Hashem, and they're perfect. That's not what we're talking about here. When Hashem doesn't want perfect. So therefore, if you have angels doing exactly what they're supposed to do, so why do we create us? We're clearly not doing what we're supposed to do, at least not all the time. They have no Yitzhahara, and therefore there's no chidush, there's no novelty in their avodah. And this is exactly why we were created, which is a weird concept, but it's beautiful. Hashem created us. What's special about us? We have a Yitzhahara. We can do not the right thing. And we're also able to overcome that and make that right choice. And this causes a great pleasure above. Mitzad hachidush shabavidase, because of the novelty in their avodah. I explained elsewhere at length. Meaning, and this is a very important point, our chisaron is our maila, and an angel's maila is its chisaron. Meaning, and this is a very important way to look at our situation. We come, we say, I struggle, I don't make these right choices, I wish I was like that other person. We look at other people like malachim. I wish I'm more like that person. They look like they're doing it well. And we wish we didn't have the struggle. But the struggle is what is the whole purpose why we're here. This is what Hashem wants. And when we overcome that struggle, we didn't say that you overcome it every time, because if you overcome it every time, then you're a malach. And therefore there's no chiddush b'davar, there's no purpose of you being created. Part of inbuilt into the game is that you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to do everything correctly every time. And that's part of the process. That's why Hashem created this way. Because when you're able on that one time to do the right thing, to overcome that inclination, that taiva, to make that right decision, to make sure to go to bed on time, to make sure to daven, to make sure not to say the lashon hara, to make sure to speak nice to ourselves, and whatever example you want to give, that's why you created. When we think to ourselves, we say to ourselves, when tell ourselves it's a chiddush, we think it's a chiddush, we don't do a mitzvah. Oh, how do I not do a mitzvah? How do I not do this? How do I not say chitas? How do I not, whatever it is. I really should be doing it all the time. So really, when you say it to yourself, you have to ask yourself, am I a malach? Am I always doing the right thing? No. We were created with the Yetzer Hara, and as we're going to explain later, the Yetzer Hara even comes first. So we created sort of already behind. This nefesh lekis, that's the whole purpose to come in to help us and to overcome the Yetzer Hara, is 13 years late or 12 years late. So it's really the opposite way. So really the chiddush when we do a mitzvah, it's just like when you find a person, you do a mitzvah with them on the street, whatever it is, or you go to light Shabbos candles, whatever mitzvah, but you get a person that comes into Chabad house and does something, you don't say, finally doing what's right. You say, it's amazing what you're doing. You're doing it. Why? Because it's a chiddush. Because their lives aren't lived based off doing these mitzvahs, and so therefore they get the chance to do a mitzvah. And so too with us, we have a life based on the Yetzer Hara that's coming to try to get us not to do mitzvahs. So like, oh wow, you managed to do a mitzvah, you managed to overcome the Yetzer Hara. That's beautiful. And this is how we have to see ourselves. And we have to realize that when we do that, not just we, like we said before, it's not that you're coming and you're like, finally about time. You finally came and you davened. No, you managed to daven today. That's so beautiful. You caused a tainug l'mayla. You caused pleasure to Hashem when you did that. And this is what we're saying. And you get a whole for ring and can ring for life about this. But we have to move on. And if your natural soul is more coarse and more passionate, more emotional. Bevadai gam nefesh lekis shaloi yesh koiches chazakim yeser. So therefore, also nefesh lekis has even more power. Because remember, the purpose of the nefesh lekis is to come help you with this nefesh baham and nefesh ativis. So therefore, we can't say, it's too hard. My nefesh lekis can't handle my nefesh bahamis. My nefesh bahamis is too wild. The whole purpose of the nefesh lekis was to overcome the nefesh bahamis. So for sure, you're able to do it. We have the ability to overcome that natural passion, natural fire. Because they're not given to a person any more than what his ability. And like it says in Kuntres, Lefum gamla shichana, according to the Lord, is the camel, meaning they make sure that it's exactly the amount they can handle. Being that person was given this strong nature, this passionate, fiery passion, so makes sense that they also got equally as strong spiritual strengths. He's able to overcome this natural nature of themselves. And so what we're saying very simply is a few points. Back to the main discussion, we got to own up to our issues. We can't give excuses. So and if you're going to come and say, what do you mean? But you don't understand. Like, you're dasa, you don't understand nefesh bahamis. My nefesh bahamis is wild. It's crazy. Let's do all these things. And that's what we say to ourselves. So what's the answer? It could be very true. But we have a nefesh lekis. And the purpose of the nefesh lekis is to help you fight this nefesh bahamis. And your nefesh lekis was made to be able to overcome that nefesh bahamis of yours. So you can't say, my nefesh bahamis is too strong. Your nefesh lekis is equally strong. You have more potential. That's also, if you have that passion and you're fire, you're like, it's out of control. I hate this. I wish I was more calm. Recognize that together with that passion, you have equal amounts on the kedusha side, and you can overcome it. But it comes, like we said before, we got to own up to our problems, and we got to recognize it, and we're going to say we can do better, and not to put us down, chas v'shalom, because like we said before, the whole purpose is that Hashem doesn't need us to be perfect, because that He has angels for. He needs us to have this struggle. And we have to recognize that when we're able to overcome that and jump and do that right thing, whatever it is, then we cause tainug l'maylam. We cause pleasure to Hashem. And if anyone has someone that they ever respected, they ever looked up to, and they were able to do something and give them pleasure, make them feel good, help them out or give them something, it's a very, very enjoyable feeling. It's how much more so it is by Hashem, which it comes to in His bonus. That comes out, it comes to that. Kitzer. Teva ha'adam, the nature of a person, litleis, sibas, ra'asai, v'chishronesav, b'zolasai. The nature of the beast, the nature of us, is that we put on, we blame our shortcomings on someone else. The sibas, or at least not ourselves. The sibas, and for all the good things that we have, we don't blame anyone else. It's all us. We're Baruch Hashem, very good. And all the issues, it's, my upbringing, my life, this and that, tired, all excuses we give. The self-love, sibas hataus, is the cause for this mistake. Umakir hamumin, and the source of all the blemishes. Not being able to be honest with ourselves. Ha'hitztadkus, misibas hagvaras, chem hativei sheker. The justification for the cause of this natural fire, natural passion is false. Milas Adam Amlach. We talked about the Mila, the specialness advantage over us, over angels. So just to summarize again, that we can't sit there, we shouldn't blame others for our mistakes. You made me angry. It's a false thing to say. You didn't make me angry. I had the choice, and I chose to be angry. And they're going to say, oh, but you don't understand. My nefesh Muhammad is very strong and very easily turned on, very easy to get angry. So we have to say to ourselves, yeah, but I have a nefesh Muhammad, a nefesh Elokis that hits the whole purpose. We got to help subdue this and put it in its place. And I can do it. And then you're going to say to yourself, oh, why is life so hard? Why have to deal with this? You say, do you want to be a malach? Malach is not special. This is what makes you special. This struggle is what makes you special. And when you overcome this, and when you're going to calm down that nefesh Bahamis and not get upset and be happy, and then you did it. You caused a tiny l'mayla. And the mitzvah Hashem, all of us, now is the process of taking this idea and internalizing it to the extent that we're able to express it. Meaning one thing is learning. And I've noticed this recently myself. Like you learn things, learning about bitachon. Over the years, I started to learn about bitachon a little bit. And I realized my reaction to things, it hasn't changed. I just remind myself, really, I should have bitachon and I should be saying to myself this and this and this. And Hashem is here and I have to worry about it. But I still feel I'm worried. And not just the lack of the internalizing of the messages that I've been learning. And so to here, when we're learning, it's not just enough that we just listen. We have to think about it and get into us to the point where it'll start to change us. That our reaction to it will be like we learned here. I'll react the same, and then I'll say to myself, one level already is good. That I react the same, but I say to myself, hey, we learned in Shiur that really I shouldn't give excuses. So then what will probably happen, I'll still give myself excuses, but I'll understand that I'm not doing it correctly. The third level, the deeper level, is I'll stop giving myself excuses. And that means you internalize the message of this maamer. Mitzvah Hashem by all of us. We should have an amazing day, overcome the nefesh of Bahamas, and realize the strength that nefesh Elokis has. And we should be successful. Have an amazing, amazing day.